48 megapixel cameras, 6000 mAh battery and decent performance given the price tag. $130 versus $160. Which of them is the best choice for a budget smartphone? The Poco M3 versus the Redmi 9T. Let's inspect. Hey, welcome everyone, really nice to meet you. My name is Michael and we usually inspect cool tech over here. So I'm eager to show you today's guest stars. First, that's the Poco M3, which is the first contender for best budget smartphone of 2021. It costs only $130, and this is the Redmi 9T, and I'm saying it super slowly because if I say quickly Redmi 9T and it sounds like 90, kind of confusing, but never mind. Two really fantastic and very good budget smartphones which are going to offer pretty decent experience for their price point, and it's just unbelievable how good budget smartphones have become in the past couple of years. Having 6000 mAh battery, 48 megapixel camera, good software with frequent security patches and updates, and okay performance for browsing and social media and apps, it's no longer a privilege for expensive phones only. It is well possible to have it right now for as low as $130. At the moment of making this video, there's nothing really as good coming from the big brands, with Honor being temporarily sidelined, Huawei being out of scope, and Realme having only the C15, which is their most budget-friendly device from 2020, and now we wait in order to see if it's going to get a refresh. I think it's clear for everyone that Redmi is one of Xiaomi's brands, and a couple of years ago Xiaomi made it very clear Mi is going to be the more premium brand, while Redmi is supposed to cover the mainstream and budget segments mostly. Poco, on the other side, had a similar fate until recently, when the company started to operate on its own. So we're still seeing a lot of similarities between models from both companies, but in the future this will likely change for both hardware and software. I guess it's all going to be something similar to the relationship between OnePlus, Oppo and Realme, which all belong to BBK Electronics. So now I'm going to start with what is common, and we're going to highlight the similarities about hardware and software, and then we're going to take a look at what is different between both. Let's start with the design and the display first. Both phones are made out of plastic, large 6.53-inch drop displays. Inside the drop there's the front camera, of course. Both displays have identical performance and color tuning and have the same peak brightness, which is about 400 nits, so it will be visible outdoors if it's not a too bright and shiny day. Not as bright as an AMOLED screen, but the big advantage is that if the screen breaks, a replacement LCD is going to cost you no more than $30. Resolution is good, it's Full HD, even more than that. It's identical to most mid-rangers, even some high-end phones from this year. It offers color temperature adjustment, sunlight mode, reading mode, and the LCD is behind a Gorilla Glass 3, so it's scratch resistant. What makes it different is of course the sharpness and the colors, but for untrained eye, most people would hardly make any difference. We can see two different kinds of textures on the backs, and we'll start with the Poco, which has this leather-like feeling, but I tend to like it. Still can't decide if I like it really a lot, but it's feeling alright, and it's anti-slippery, so if your hands are sweaty, it's less likely this thing to be dropped on the ground. And also the Poco logo, which is engraved here under. No, it's actually not under the glass, it's on top of the glass, so that's probably gonna scratch at some point. Yeah, maybe you better use a case in case you want to keep this for a long time. Now, the Redmi, there's no chance of this logo disappearing because it's sort of engraved. Probably I should put it like that, it's better visible. It's frosted texture. You can hear me doing it with my nails, but it's also pretty nice on the touch and anti-slippery. So I think I like both of them quite a lot, and probably this feels a little better in the hand. If we take out the SIM holder, dual SIM support for both phones, as well as external storage up to 512 GB. Also, infrared blaster, headphone jack and dual speaker system. Let me show you the quality of the speakers and I'll play the same thing with the Mi 10T Pro for a comparison. Both phones arrive with a charger inside the box, 22.5 watt chargers, and yeah, there is quick charging mode supported, which is important for such a large battery inside. Speaking of which, it has capacity of 6000 mAh. Think about it, modern CPU manufactured on very thin process, not too power-hungry display, and a huge battery. It can result into close to 20 hours screen-on time. Here's an example, and you can see the SOT for the last day. With some minor tweaking, you can go even further than that. I'm gonna show you how to speed up the systems and prolong the battery life by the end of this video. I guess it's a good idea to share the rest of the specs. Snapdragon 662 chipset with octa-core processor and powerful graphics processor, well optimized for games. 4GB RAM for the Poco M3, an option for 6GB for Redmi 9T for certain regions only. Storage is either 64 or 128GB, 48MP main camera, 8MP selfie camera, all the needed connectivity protocols including FM radio, infrared blaster, fingerprint sensors embedded on both phones inside the power button, and both of them do not support NFC, although looks like for certain regions the Redmi 9T may have such in the future. So, based on all that, we can say that performance-wise they're almost identical. This is not a gaming phone, nor it is a flagship, it's not great for editing videos or other heavy CPU or GPU intensive tasks, but their performance is definitely not to be ignored. They're almost as capable as a Galaxy S8. That's right, look at the benchmarks, the overall performance is going to be about the same. Running the tests on both didn't show significant difference, although I made an experiment and deep bloated the Poco and left the Redmi 9T as it is. Deep bloating is the process where we're getting rid of the unnecessary apps which are on the phone. Actually, over here we go one step further. We connect the phone to the computer. We run a very special app which is uninstalling and removing all the unnecessary operating system related services and apps. And after the procedure is done, this releases about half of gigabyte of RAM, which makes the phone feel a lot faster. And you're going to see the implications. I can just show you how much quicker the whole scrolling feels, and if I have to go and open something, it's much smoother than what it used to be. There's a tool that you need to download compatible with almost all MIUI-based smartphones, and the credits here go to Shaki, whose development that is. You need to enable developer options. Simply go to the About section, tap on the MIUI version 7 times, and then developer options are unlocked, and you can see that under Additional Settings. From there, you can enable USB debugging, connect the phone to the computer where the app is running, confirm the connection, and you can choose which apps will be removed. I've left only the calculator, the themes engine, a few others including some of the Google services, and good thing is that in case something breaks, you can bring it back. You have to be careful, but at the same time this tool is rather harmless and the procedure is not as complicated as, for example, rooting would be. After debloating MIUI, it all has suddenly become a lot faster. I've seen many reviews saying that the Poco M3 is super slow, especially when it wakes up. This got better with the latest software update and was also vastly improved after the debloating procedure. The whole thing feels as if it's flying right now. Just look at how scrolling works. You can do one more thing in order to speed things up. Reduce the animation time. Again, we go to Settings, Additional Settings, Developer Options, and scroll down until you find the animation tuning and reduce the 3 values down to 0.5. This is going to make your phone feel almost like flagship when you're switching between tasks in the interface. Just have a look. If you don't trust me yet, just look at how much quicker the camera opens on the debloated and optimized Poco. The experience on both phones is very similar, however the Poco has slightly different launcher called the Poco Launcher, while the Redmi 9T still uses the standard MIUI launcher. There are minor things that could be different. There is no way to show the RAM usage in the recent screen for the Poco, and generally a few less entries in the customizations, but most of it is well-known MIUI experience based on Android 10 for now. The only major component that we haven't talked about yet, the cameras. So we have two different kinds of setup over here, and the 129 Poco is giving us a triple camera setup, whereas with the $159 costing Redmi 9T we have a quad camera setup. Main sensors for both is the same, 48 megapixel Samsung, which does a great job in daylight, and okay photos in low light thanks to the advanced night mode and the processing in the MIUI camera app. While I may not be a huge fan of MIUI myself, the camera app is in my opinion the best among the Android devices, offering clean and easy to use interface with tons of customizations, filters and additional effects you can apply right away, and also prompt mode for both videos and photos. As you may notice, with some patience, it can deliver results which are not too far away from what a $900 flagship can provide. Videos, however, are less appealing, maximum of 1080p, poor slow motion and lack of stabilization. The Redmi 9T has a wide-angle camera on top of the main sensor. It is actually the major difference between both phones, obviously not the best in class, but could come handy for street and landscape photography. As you can notice from all the tests we have done, these phones are almost identical. Yes, a few visual differences and possibility for 6 gigs for the Redmi in some regions, and the only significant hardware advantage of the Redmi 9T is the wide-angle camera. The rest of the hardware and the software features are almost the same. That was the most important summed up, but there might be a lot more small cool things to try. The FM radio, the infrared blaster, the fingerprint scanner, the themes app and the wallpaper customizations. So if you wonder whether any of these two smartphones are a great choice for a budget phone, I would say the answer is hell yeah! Are they the best of 2021? Probably it's too early to say, because pretty sure that in the coming 11 months there will be a lot more devices presented, but definitely at this very moment they're packing probably the most out of the budget sector. 1080p display, huge battery, good software performance, triple or quad camera setup. Which one is better? Well, you see they're almost identical, with the camera compartment being the only notable difference besides the outlook. So if you want to go really budget, the Poco M3 is great. If you want to add extra wide-angle camera for only 30-ish bucks, you can't go wrong with the Redmi 9T. So let me know which of both do you prefer, or is there another smartphone that you believe is the best budget smartphone out there right now? And for any questions, we can comment below. I'll put links to both these smartphones in the description, and I really hope this video has helped you to decide what's gonna be your next, or maybe it already is, your favorite budget smartphone. And again, let me know what you think. I really thank you for being my guest in the past few minutes. I'm Michael and would love to see you in the next episode. Bye!